Yes, Joey, you are the lead discussant.
Hooray.
Thank you so much for agreeing to do this. So let's get to it. We're talking collaborations and partnerships, a core ingredients for success. And you're someone who's been in the scene for a while, young man, but you have done so well for yourself, I must say. So let us in, set the pace, and give us a keynote speech on this.
Okay, hello everybody. Thank you for being around to this point, and thank you for coming through. My name is Joey Akan, and I have been in the space for a while, I think since late 2012, down to this point. And a very important part of this conversation is collaboration. See, on a very basic level, and I'll go through like numerous levels, but on a very basic level, in the music industry, no man's an island. Everyone is interconnected somehow on personal levels, on business levels, and in a manner of speaking, business is really personal in the music industry, and collaboration handles it. Like take for example, just outside, I was on a phone call with someone called Lucas J. Vision, and for those who don't know Lucas J. Vision, he's one of the biggest promoters of music in this country. I think his most recent project has been to make Tiwa Savage's Somebody's Son a hit, and he's achieved that. So I was on the phone call with him. And across board, for him, like let's take for example, for him to do his work, he also has to work with the people on, let's say, Tiwa's digital team, because the more he disseminates it all around, the more he expects that online, how people are pushing, there are digital ads campaigns going on, influencer marketing campaigns going on to get that record to the top. So that's a very basic example of that. So the entire industry is born by collaborations. I have my man Dele here. Currently, Dele's company, Boomplay, I like to put him on the spot. Boomplay, they are in multiple universities all over the country, trying to seek out the best, the brightest stars. And I am currently one of the judges for that. I didn't even work with him for that. I worked with his people. But I'm currently one of the judges for that. And that's due to like the work I do on Afrobeats Intelligence. So you could see that happening. Also, think about generally an artist, like a single artist saying, I want to blow, I want to get into the space. One of the things people always advise all of their teams is to get partners. And some of these partners, they do a lot of things for you, like from tour partners to brand partners, to media partners. My uncle here, Olisa Dibwa, he understands that part of the game. Media partners, you need people who speak for you on that level. And so the entire music industry is one huge web and ecosystem of collaborations across board. So I'm very happy to be here today to have that conversation, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And that question leads me to a question I have for Joey. I know it's too early, but this is going to connect to everything he just spoke about. He mentioned Captain and having to work with every other artist, but I believe that there are collaborations and partnerships that can be counterproductive, detrimental to the success and growth of a certain brand. So, but then you can also speak on that. Are there negative aspects to collaborations and partnerships? What should people look out for? The red flags, basically.
Yes. First of all, for you to achieve any form of collaboration within the space, Dilly mentioned it. You have to have people that are willing to be honest on the table. I can give you an example of a collaboration that went sour. Not even within this space, on a global level. So there's this media platform. It's called OZ. For those who follow the tech world, you'd notice this. OZ, big media platform, raised a lot of money from a lot of venture capitalists and said, okay, we're going to create one of the biggest media houses. And then the numbers were not working. They didn't have the right content offerings. And while they were trying to get, I think they were trying to get a partnership, a collaboration with YouTube and one of their investors, Goldman Sachs, the bank. For some weird reason, the YouTube executive wasn't in the meeting, and guess what? One of the one of the top guys, one of the top executives at OZ, guess what he did? He impersonated the YouTube guy, downloaded a software to have a conversation with Goldman Sachs people, and literally just pulled a fraud. The company has announced that they're out of business now, but that's an example. So you have to have people that are willing to put cards on the table and be honest with you. You can go into, a lot of these collaborations are based on mutual benefits. I don't want to say, okay, I want to collaborate with this person based on, I believe these are his strengths, or the strengths he's told me he's had. I look at his numbers and they're decent. And then when I begin to commit my resources or commit my own strengths into this collaboration, I begin to see loopholes. So that's a very important part of it, honesty. And then secondly, you'd have to be very focused on your shared objectives. It's very important that you work with people who are trying to go in the same direction. Like, take for example, let's just say an artist or an actor. We're talking about music a lot, so let me go into Nollywood. I recently had a conversation between a big media firm, streaming firm, and a director. And this is someone that has been signed to make 3 movies for this big platform, really big. They're putting a lot of money into it, a lot of dollars into it. And at some point, they had this brilliant idea to add a 4th movie to it. And the first thing they did was, hey, to this director in his house, and they're like, hey, we have this idea. It is not yours. It's not what you pitched to us, but this is where we're headed. And we're looking for a director to work with us to get to this destination for this new project. And then the director's like, okay, I'm going to do this. After a while, they went through the entire process, and at the end of the day, they found a way to make it work. And right now, the product of whatever that conversation is would soon be out in the open, and everybody's going to have a good time. But it was very important for both of them to come to that agreement, because they both want the same thing. This other company wanted content and wanted a new generation of film enthusiasts. And this other director, he can service that market with his creation. So he did that. So it's also important that happens. And then, because when all of these things do not align, when you don't have honesty, and when people are being and when your goals are divergent, what happens is very simple. You would struggle to go through the partnerships. The aim, the reasons why you decided to, join yourselves by the hip, that would never be achieved. And in the end, it's not going to work for any party. And then finally, we're in an age where a lot of things matter, where impressions matter, where you have to constantly protect yourself, where reputation means a lot. So if you're a brand and you're trying to collaborate, or a brand, whether you're an actor or you make pencils, you're trying to collaborate, whether cross industry or within the same industry, it's very important that you also check the reputation of the people you're collaborating with. Like, you don't want a situation where, let's say you are considered to be one of the most upright brands in the market. You have everything on deck. Your numbers are good. You have people who are willing to go the distance for you. Your distribution channels are great. And then all of a sudden you go into a partnership with someone that represents everything that's against your brand. Maybe this person has nudity somewhere, if that's against your brand. This person has nudity somewhere, or this person engages in very anti-people adventures. What that does is, that would literally stain your brand. It would reduce your reputation, reduce your goodwill, which is very important in terms of consumer behavior these days. And it will turn negative for you. So it's very important that all of this come together.
Thank you so much, Joey.